Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sanson, Jim Jonas with Veterans in Politics. On April 5th, right?
Yep.
On April 5th, we were at the Ahern Hotel and Event Center in their theater room, and our organization interviewed candidates for governor. And it was an open, transparent, and it was a live event. It was on Facebook Live. As a matter of fact, it's on YouTube right now as we speak. That event had several gubernatorial candidates. And let me just explain. We invite everybody. So if you don't see your favorite candidate, that means that candidate did not want to come on air, or they had a conflict in their schedule. Usually when a candidate don't want to come on air, that means they are scared of questions that might be asked. And a lot of them like questionnaires, like so many organizations send questionnaires to candidates for them to fill out and return. But we know damn well it's the campaign managers, political consultants, their wives, significant other, their husbands are the ones that's filling out these questionnaires. So it doesn't really serve us to have questionnaires sent out so somebody else other than the candidate is going to fill them out. So what we do a live broadcast, and we make sure that everything is transparent, and our panel members ask questions to the candidates. Candidates respond. We have a moderator, and the moderator is the one that referees the whole thing. And we would like to thank all the candidates that participated and all the candidates that have continued to participate in our endorsement process, even the ones right here at our studio. We would like to thank all the panel members that participated, the moderator that participated, all the sound engineer, the cameraman, the live feed people, our sponsors, was it Versa Coin, Bitcoin, yeah. Versa, and Don Ahern at the Ahern Hotel and Visitors Center. With that said, we've been endorsing candidates for a very long time. And every time we endorse candidates, it's not a backroom deal. We don't rubber stamp veterans. We don't rubber stamp a person that has name ID. We don't rubber stamp a person that has the most money. We only endorse the best candidate for the position, or we feel the best candidate for the position, the best candidate that's going to serve veterans, the best candidate that's going to serve the homeless. Yeah, they have a voice too, the homeless do. The best candidate that's going to serve the entire populace as far as Nevadans are concerned, or their constituents within their district. With that said, we have interviewed candidates for a very long time, hundreds and thousands of candidates for a very long time. And this is our process. We try to be fair and we try to be transparent as much as possible. With that said, we had a candidate that showed up at our doorstep at the studio that RSVP'd. And this is the name of the candidate. You want to zoom in on this one, Mark? This is the name of the candidate that showed up. There's only two people running for Nevada Court of Appeals for this department. This one is Deborah Westbrook. The other one is Rhonda Frostberg. And Rhonda Frostberg is currently a sit-in family court judge. Now, Rhonda Frostberg said that she didn't want, she told our member that called up to confirm her attendance, Dr. Robert Madoff, that her calendar was full and she couldn't get away for our endorsement process. Now, please understand, if a candidate is not present at our endorsement process, that candidate cannot be considered for our endorsement. You have to actually be present to be considered. Not like those other groups that whoever writes the biggest check or their friends or whatever, they endorse them. No, we don't do that. We do the candidate that actually participate in the endorsement process. And Rhonda Frostberg She said she had a scheduling conflict. She couldn't attend, but rumor says that she didn't want to come on our endorsement process because she's a family court judge. And, you know, veterans in politics have been exposing the bad, corrupt family court judges on a continuous basis since 2016. Now, Deborah Westbrook confirmed her attendance. We had our panel members here use their time, their dime, and you know, some panel members live all the way in Centennial Hills and had to use their gas to come all the way over here. And we know gas at a record price, what, $6, $7, $8 now? Come over here to interview this candidate. This candidate was at her doorstep and did an about face to her car because she said that her opponent, Rhonda Forsberg, was not present. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's craziness. Either this candidate was looking for a reason to walk away from her endorsement process or just have no clue how politics works. Now, I explained to her that if you come on, you have the stage all by yourself. You're going to get a full hour of interviews and people are going to get to know who you are. So far, nobody knows who this person is. I didn't know who this person is. Did you know who this person is?
No.
We didn't know who this person, but we all know who Rhonda Forsberg is because she's currently a sitting family court judge. So this person would have had a whole lot of exposure. And for us to learn who this person is, for our panel members to learn who this person is, and she giddy up and turned around and left. Now, what's wrong with that picture? Who is this person's campaign manager? That is ridiculous. We found it to be insulting and rude for her just to leave like that because we were all here waiting for her. We had 3, 4, 5 of our members waiting for her. She was at our front door and left. So we thought that was extremely disrespectful and disheartening. And we don't know what to say about that. So enough on that. Now, on April 5th, we voted for a governor to endorse. And the reason why that this is in a secret ballot and sealed with all, could you zoom in on this, Mark? With all of our panel members sign the back of it. And I just want to know, panel members, it's still in a sealed envelope. It's still got your signature on there. It's never been opened. It's never been opened. Okay. And the reason why we did a secret ballot is because we were hosting several of the gubernatorial candidates to help get their name out. It's not that we endorsed them, it's that we wanted to educate the public on these particular gubernatorial candidates. So we did that. And we thought that it would be awkward or uncomfortable for us to actually know who we endorse and still host an event for a person that we didn't endorse. So this is why we did this. So who was on the panel? James Jonas was on the panel. Paul Jackson was on the panel. Make sure we don't leave anybody out. Jeffrey Black was on the panel. Robert Lauer was on the panel. Stephen Fortune was on the panel. Michael Broadway was on the panel. Talisia Sandoval was on the panel. Stephanie Phillips was on the panel. Frank Friends was on the panel. I think we're missing one. Oh, Leonard Cornelli was on the panel. Now, each of these panel members have a diverse background from retail to law enforcement to real estate to activism to real estate. So these panel members come from different walks of life, different financial backgrounds, different political parties, different political interests, and they all sat at the table and grilled the candidates and voted. So without further ado, we're going to count the votes right here live on Facebook. Jim, I just want to make sure that I got all the, we don't want to cut.
Yeah, I know. That's why I kind of tried to
cut the, one of the votes. So let's make sure. And here's one caveat, folks. I do not vote. The president of Veterans in Politics International is forbidden to vote to endorse a candidate in the state of Nevada. Now, I could do it in any other state, just not this one. And the reason for it is because they said that I'm too close to the candidates. So this scissor. So we're going to cut open the envelope, and then we're going to read. I'm going to show each vote. Okay. So there's supposed to be 10 votes. There were 10 panel members. How many is there? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 10 votes. Okay? So, Jim, go ahead. Pick one.
Dean Heller.
Dean Heller. Dean Heller got 1 vote. Zoom in when we do this, Mark. Dean Heller got 1 vote. Do another one.
Joey Gilbert.
Joey Gilbert has a vote.
Joey Gilbert.
Joey Gilbert is now 2 votes. Dean Heller, 1 vote.
Dean Heller.
Dean Heller has 2 votes. Joey Gilbert has 2 votes.
Dean Heller.
Dean Heller has 3 votes. Joey Gilbert has 2 votes.
Joey Gilbert.
Joey Gilbert has 3 votes. Dean Heller has 3 votes.
Joey Gilbert.
Joey Gilbert has 4 votes. Dean Heller has 3 votes.
Dean Heller.
Dean Heller has 4 votes. Joey Gilbert has 4 votes.
Joey Gilbert.
Joey Gilbert has 5 votes. Dean Heller has 4 votes.
You're not going to like this. Dean Heller.
Dean Heller has 5 votes. Joey Gilbert has 5 votes. So it's a tie. So there's one caveat. The president of Veterans in Politics International breaks the tie. This is why I wanted an odd number. This is why I wanted an odd number on the panel. And you know, we had an odd number, but that panel member didn't show up. So now I could do one of 2 things. I could either vote to endorse one of these 2 candidates, or I could go with a complete no endorsement, and Veterans in Politics will be completely out of this particular endorsement process for governor. We could wipe away the governor and everybody would be on their own, and we don't have to vote for governor. So live on air, huh?
Right, yeah.
I didn't even think it was going to happen.
Yeah. Well,
Joey Gilbert, Dean Heller.
no, whatever decision you make, I'll support it.
Full disclaimer, between these 2 gentlemen, I have known Dean Heller since 2006. I have watched him become Secretary of State. I have watched him become U.S. Congressman. I have watched him become U.S. Senator. I have visited him in Washington, D.C., and Dean Heller has supported some bills that concern veteran issues, and one of them was the stolen valor. I have also hosted a Dean Heller meet and greet at my home. Joey Gilbert, I have met Joey Gilbert long time ago at a fundraiser in Reno. I believe it was with Jim Wheeler, one of our assembly legislators that's running for state senate right now. And I have seen Joey Gilbert's photo in the airport in Reno. If you haven't seen it, that's how it looks.
Yeah.
And I was a little skeptical of Mr. Gilbert. And Mr. Gilbert kind of grew on me. Got to learn him, got to respect him. And Veterans in Politics and Cambridge Realty hosted a meet and greet for Joey Gilbert, 4 other candidates as well. Am I comfortable with the way things are going with our country? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Do I like the establishment? Sometimes. Do I want to see a new player? I think fresh blood is always good. Who could represent Nevada best? And let me just say something to you folks. We invite everybody, okay? Whether you're Democrat, Libertarian, Independent American, or Republican, we invite everybody. And it was sad that the governor didn't show up. Although Steve Sisolak, I have known him for a very long time too. Before he was regent, then he became Clark County County Commission, and now governor. Who would I pick to be endorsed by Veterans in Politics? And to be quite honest with you folks, I never thought that I was going to be put in this position at all.
I just want to, just so you could breathe a second, I also want to point out, not only did Steve Sisolak not show up, but Sheriff Joe Lombardo did not show up and has also canceled on 2 podcast interviews with Veterans in Politics.
So now I'm faced with a tie. I was afraid of this. You know, being the president of Veterans in Politics is not an easy position at all. And I could save a whole lot of heartache and take the cowardly role, some people might want to say, or the smart role, a lot of people probably would say, and say that Veterans in Politics would not endorse a gubernatorial candidate. But I'm sure nobody out there wants to hear that. And I'm sure that if I go with Dean Heller, Joey Gilbert's camp is going to be mad at me. And I know if I go with Joey Gilbert's camp, Dean Heller's camp is going to be mad at me. So which one of these 2 people I would like to see as our governor and endorsed by Veterans in Politics? Because hopefully, one of these 2 Republican candidates, because they're both Republicans, one of these 2 Republican candidates will make it into the general election to face off against Steve Sisolak or Tom Collins, who's a Democratic candidate that's running for governor. So I'm going to say this. I respect both individuals. I love a fighter. I don't like the same old, same old. And I have a great deal of respect for both of these individuals, whether it's Dean Heller or Joey Gilbert, because these are the only 2 that we have pending right now. All the other candidates were actually removed from the consideration would accept for 4 candidates, and basically 2 candidates out of the 4 is on my table right now for me to consider. And let me tell you who the 4 candidates were, the top 4 that was to be considered. It was Dean Heller, Joey Gilbert, John Lee, and Guy Nora. Those were the 4. So when they voted, because I didn't vote, when they voted for a gubernatorial candidate to be endorsed, the panel members broke it down to 2, Dean Heller and Joey Gilbert. And I do not like to be put in this position. And we did have an 11-member panel, and one of the members, apparently something happened to him. Mikey Kelly, you were the 11th member. You didn't show. Thank you, Mikey Kelly, for putting me in this position. So, as a member of Veterans in Politics and the president of Veterans in Politics International, it gives me great pleasure to announce to you that Veterans in Politics International will endorse Joey Gilbert for governor. Thank you so much. I love you all.